The Fallen, Worlds of Atlantis. Written by Ravek Hunter. Narrated by Curt Bonnem. Chapter 1.
The descant of Eriu, as I performed it so long ago, ne'er made a distinction between the goddess and the land, for both were one and the same. The Druids knew this truth dogmatic, and lived well with nature and her blessings. Her name defined a promise of abundance, and it was so. An abundance of life, abundance of prosperity, and abundance of terrors, to be sure. And it was my fortune to experience every part of that asseveration. Of all the lands I have lived and wandered, over more years than I care to remember, I very nearly miss her most of all. Wotanaz the Wanderer. The proposal. Esselt's nerves were almost frayed to their tortured ends, and impossibly she was charged with excitement at the same time. It was a maddening sensation with no proper outlet for relief, and she found herself regrettably following her mother's practical advice. She expelled a long sigh, a hollow sound that even to her own ears sounded tired and pathetic.
"What will father say, mother?"
The needlework her mother had given her as the task to distract her mind from the only thing she could think about was only frustrating her. She had never been very good at it, certainly not as good as any of her older sisters, and as far as she was concerned, it was a tedious waste of time anyway.
"He will say what he will say, child. Be patient."
Her mother lifted her eyebrow at the needlework Esselt had put aside.
"Lord Marok is the first suitor of any genuine potential that has asked for your hand in marriage, and your father, as the High King of Eriu, must take his appeal seriously."
Her suitor, Lord Marok, had gone to see her father that afternoon to ask for her hand in marriage. That was several hours ago, and still he had not returned. At only 16 years of age, Esselt had rarely thought about getting married, except, of course, that her friends, lady-in-waiting, and especially her sisters teased her about it excessively. But it was not until she had met the Duke did she feel what she could only interpret as love. And right now, love was nearly driving her to insanity. She recalled when Lord Marok had first arrived at the court of Timrak. Esselt was in attendance with the rest of her family to formally greet him and his entourage. They received the Duke in their grand capital as a guest of honor, and her father officially recognized him as the principal diplomat of the delegation from the Kingdom of Lyonesse. She had assumed it would be just another boring trade mission between the two countries, where she was required to go through the motions of hospitality, curtsying and smiling and entertaining their guests with witty conversation. Esselt was glad the trade mission occurred only once a year, since the entire royal family was expected to cast themselves as part of the entertainment. Although she did not follow world politics very closely, she knew enough to realize that although Lyonesse and Eriu were traditionally strong trade partners and allies, her father would still complain that there were always laborious details to be negotiated or grievances to be ironed out to assure the continuation of the kingdom's amicable relationship. Reluctantly, Esselt resumed her mother's project, sticking her finger with the first thrust of the needle.
"What about all of the others? There have been at least 20 since I came of age."
Her mother laughed. It was the kind of laugh that had always set Esselt's teeth on edge, and she would have grimaced if she wasn't busy sucking on her punctured fingertip.
"Those boys were little more than young nobles, looking to upgrade their family breed by marriage. None of them would have enhanced your father's position in the least." "Lord Marok is a duke,"
Esselt countered hopefully.
"The Duke of Tintagel, the greatest duchy in all of Lyonesse. Surely father can't say no to a man like that, even if he doesn't know him well."
Her mother repositioned her layered skirts on the divan where she sat.
"They know each other quite well, I think." "What?"
This was news to Esselt. Every year there was a different diplomat from Lyonesse. Something about the King of Lyonesse keeping all of his dukes and counts engaged in the process of government.
So she had never had the opportunity to meet Duke Marok on a previous occasion, and as far as she knew, he had never been a guest. Esselt considered it a sign from Eriu, the moon goddess after which their fair kingdom was named, that he should be the one to come at just the right time when she was eligible to marry.
"Your father-in-law..."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?